passed away. Can you kind of walk me through it from your perspective, like how that day went down for you?
So he actually passed away a day before his 18th birthday. So, you know, it was kind of tough, but he got shot a week before. So that week was just
So
like,
he already was shot?
right. He was on life support for like 5 days. So that week was like probably like one of the longest weeks, you know, of my life because that motherly instinct kicks in. Like, you know, you want a child fall, you need a Band-Aid, you know, you want to be, all right, mommy can be the doctor, I can fix you up, you know. And then at that moment, it's like I knew it was nothing that I could do. So, you know, just watching my son fight for his life for a week, you know, it was difficult. It was very, very difficult. But, you know, leading up to that day, I kind of try to mentally prepare because I kind of knew that it wasn't good. You know, he had got shot in his head. So I kind of knew it was a strong possibility that he would never wake up. And then it gave me time to kind of like process it like, all right, you know, if he don't wake up, this is what is next, you know, the funeral and this and that. So I was thinking about all that week. But, you know, that particular day, we was actually like planning to have something the next day for his birthday. And, you know, when I woke up in the morning, because I was at the hospital every night, and then it was like everything was just wrong. Like I looked up at the screen and like his blood pressure was low. His kidneys had just went up. Then the day before they put him on dialysis. So a lot of people didn't know, like every day the progress was like less and less. So like, you know, but people were like, how Bonk doing? I'm like, all right, he good. You know, he hanging in there. But I knew like every day it was like declining. I just didn't want to worry everybody because they like, people like, oh, well, you know, people saying you going to take him off life support and this and that. And I was really contemplating taking him off life support, but I'm just like, all right, I want him to kind of make it to his 18th birthday. So I was trying to hold it out. But that day, you know, like he went to cardiac arrest. So it's like, it was God's will. Like I didn't play no part in like taking him off life support or anything. His heart stopped. They tried to resuscitate him. They tried to bring him back. You know, I literally just a little bit before that was telling the doctor like, hey, tomorrow is his birthday. I want to have a little get together because you only can have like 2 people in the room at a time, 4 visitors a day. Right. So you can imagine how hard that was with the million people that know my son. Everybody want to see him, and I'm like, oh, y'all can't come up here. So I'm like, on this day, can y'all just grant us like some extra visitors so like more people can see him? I'm like, God forbid it's his last birthday. So the doctors was like, yeah, that's cool. You know, we'll give y'all the family room. Y'all can still rotate in and out the room, but we'll allow more visitors for just that one day. I'm like, all right. So we was preparing for that. I'm like, all right, you know, we got a day. And then after the birthday, I was going to probably try to make a decision like, all right, I know this not going well. Let me just mentally, you know. But yeah, that day, you know, he coded. And then they saved him. They brought him back a couple times. But, you know, it was his time. So it was his time. So that was the day before his birthday. So it was like a shock, like, damn, like his birthday tomorrow. And that's what I looked at the doctor. I'm like, his birthday tomorrow. And the doctor was crying. She was like, I know. So it was a shock. But, you know, I think that the week of him being in the hospital gave me time to kind of process it a little bit better. Like, if he would have died instantly that day, I probably would have maybe broke down a lot more. But in my mind, I'm like, all right, I can do this. Like, God, just give me strength for this. I can handle this. I was more worried about everybody else. I'm like, damn, my mother not going to take it well.
That's
damn, his grandma.
Yeah,
I was like thinking about my son, my other son. I'm thinking about all these other people that's like going to be affected. But I wasn't even worried about my own feelings. I was just like, damn, this person going to be sad. This person going to be hurt. This person, I got to call this person and this person. Like, I'm like, wait a minute, I got to take a moment to myself. Like, that's my son. Like, everybody was crying outside the hospital the night it happened. And I was the only one not crying. I'm like, really? What y'all crying for? Like, why y'all? They was just looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, you ain't even sad. Like, you just being so strong. I'm like, y'all don't even know what's happening. We waiting for the doctors. But I think it was just like that moment of being in shock, like the reality of knowing the lifestyle your child was living. You anticipate that. Like, I kind of knew that this day might come. You know what I mean? Like, so it was like I never was naive to knowing. And I told Bonk plenty of times, The only way out the streets is you gonna die or go to jail. Like, that's the only way out this lifestyle if you don't change your life. So you have to change, or your lifestyle won't catch up with you. That's the only two routes. You gonna die or go to jail. Which one you want to take? Like, so, I feel like I prepared for it, but the reality was I still didn't want to accept that it might happen. So when it happened, it was like, damn, like my son on Murder Inc. Like my son, like it was crazy. It was crazy. It's still crazy. Like it don't be saying.
Yeah, I feel like that's not something you can ever like fully understand.
Right.
And be like, okay, it happened. No, that's forever gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
Just the whole. But I kind of do want to say like the period that week he was in the hospital. I really feel like that kind of like prepared you for ultimately what happened. Mm-hmm. Like you said, it would have just happened one day and so he'd have died. That probably would have been a lot more harder on you. Mm-hmm. I want to know like the last conversation you had with Bonk. Do you remember that?
Yeah. When the last like deep conversation, or you saying like that day or like the day before?
That day, like the last time you were able to speak to him.
That day was just a basic like, what's up, what you doing? Love you, I love you more. The day before that, he had his little goddaughter, London, and she was crying and crying and crying, and he didn't know what to do. So he called me like, Ma, she won't stop crying. So I'm like, boy, you need to take that baby home. So, every day we would just typical, I love you, be safe. But, like my last probably heartfelt heart-to-heart was like a couple weeks before he got shot, which this picture was we had went to church that Sunday on Mother's Day, and I told him that night before, I was like, all I want from you for Mother's Day is to like go to church with me. Okay. Just go to church with me so I could pray over you. I'm like, I'm really kind of worried about you, because you start to feel like when you see so much going on and happening in the streets and what your child is doing, you kind of like, it always hits you and it bothers you like, damn, like 16-year-old shot, 17-year-old shot, shoot out on this street, shoot out on that street. And I'm like,
it's like around the corner for it can
right.
happen anytime.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that day though, we talked and just, I just always tell him like, I want you to do better. He would tell me like, man, I want, make you proud. Like, I don't want to do this forever. So those was like, those type of conversations, like, and we had some real hard talks, like, about things that happened, things he's done,